Hi friends, Mrs. Scott here. I'm so excited to hang out with you guys for a little bit. I'm so sad that we can't do this in person. I miss you guys so much. But I wanted to talk to you guys about middle school. And if you want to invite your parents to come in and talk and look at this presentation with you, they are more than welcome to. If not, you can just talk to them about it later. But we're just going to talk about some of the differences between middle school and elementary school, and some things to look forward to, and maybe just some talking about some things that you might be feeling about going into middle school. Because in 3 months, you guys are going into middle school, which is so crazy, but I believe that you guys are so ready for this, and we're so excited. Your 4th grade teachers are so excited to send you off because we're confident that you guys are just going to be so great. So there's a lot of feelings around middle school. And one of those feelings, I'm going to move myself here just for a second. So when you think about starting middle school, you might feel happy. You're not too worried. You're just excited, and happy to go and happy to do something new. Some people feel confident. They feel so ready for middle school. I know your teachers are really confident sending you off to middle school. Some people feel nervous. I remember feeling nervous going into middle school. It's new. You don't know everyone. You don't know your teachers. So there's a lot of reasons to feel nervous, and that's okay. But a lot of times when you're nervous, you're also excited because it is new. When you go into middle school, it's so different, and you'll get to meet new people, and you'll have more responsibilities because you're getting older. There's a lot of excitement also going into middle school. Sometimes we feel scared, and we're going to talk about reasons why that could be, or sad to leave your elementary school and your teachers and the friends that you had in elementary school. All of these emotions are very normal to feel when you're going into middle school. When you think about starting middle school, there's also things that you might worry about. You might worry about making friends or getting lost. It's a bigger building. You might worry about more homework because in elementary school you didn't have as much homework. New teachers. You won't have the same teachers that you had in elementary school. It'll be all new people. There's going to be bigger kids. In 4th grade, you guys are the big kids. And now you're going to be the youngest in middle school. And so there will be bigger kids than you. And if you have older siblings, then you might be used to having bigger kids around. And the classes are going to get harder because you're getting older and you're learning more. So the older you get, the more you learn, and the classes do get harder, and that's a good thing because then you learn more. Making new friends. One of the worries is meeting new people, making new friends. And that's a normal worry. It's because you're going to be meeting so many new people, so many new kids from other schools, and not all the friends that you made in elementary school are going to the same school you are. Some are, which is great, and you can keep those friends. And sometimes you're going to make new friends, and making new friends can be really hard sometimes. And that's okay because everybody feels this. But the longer you're in middle school, the easier it will get to make friends and just to be open to new people. You might be worried about having more homework, and you will probably have a little bit more homework in elementary or in middle school from elementary school. Elementary school, we haven't had a ton of homework, but you're just going to need to make sure that you have a time after school that you are planning to do your homework every day. And that just takes responsibility and organization. Because you're getting older, you're going to have to be the one to make sure that your homework gets done. And so after school, just take an hour or 2 after school and set aside before you play or before you get on the watch TV to do your homework. It's really important that you do that. It is true that most middle schools are bigger than elementary schools. The building is bigger. There might be more students, and that can be something to worry about. But within a few weeks, you're going to be so comfortable in your new school. You're going to learn where your classes are. You're going to learn where your locker is. You're going to learn how to get around the school building. It won't take too long to learn your school, just like in elementary school. You had to learn where the library was and the cafeteria was. It's going to be the same in middle school. It's just a little bit bigger. A big difference between middle school and elementary school is that you follow a class schedule. You're going to have a different teacher, a different classroom for each subject. So you'll have a different teacher for science, a different teacher for social studies, reading, math, a homeroom teacher, and you'll have to go to those different classes. So it's important that you follow your schedule. You're going to get a schedule at the beginning of the year, right away, probably even before the school year starts, to help you know what your schedule is and know where your classes are. And the teachers are there to help you the first few weeks to get you to where you need to be. So that's a really big difference between elementary school and middle school, but it's because you're getting older and you have more responsibilities. We believe that you're more responsible. And so we give you these things as you grow to help you grow and to become young adults. It's really important and cool to join something in middle school. They have more options than elementary school. They have different sports teams that you can be on, like soccer and volleyball and football and dance and cheerleading. And did I say soccer? Because I know we have a lot of soccer players, and basketball. And so there's a lot of sports teams that you could join. There's clubs if you're into art. I'm sure there's an art club. There's chorus, which in other words, that's a choir, and it's a group of people that sing together. That's what I did in middle school. I sang with a choir. I was also in theater. Theater is similar to something called drama, if you've ever heard of that. Very similar if you were auditioning or if you were practicing for The Lion King, that might be something that interests you. You get to act on stage, different plays, different musicals. I also did that in middle school, and I loved it. Along with dance, I did choir, theater, and dance, and I made so many friends doing that. I was also in the band, and band is another thing that you can do in middle school. You play an instrument, like the drums or the flute or the saxophone. I played the clarinet when I was in 5th grade. They'll give you the instrument that you're interested in, and you will perform for different events. It's really cool, and it's a great way to make friends. So joining clubs and joining teams is a really great way to make new friends and to have a great time in middle school. And one of my favorite things about middle school, and I remember this, is because you're getting older, you have more independence, you're becoming more responsible, they give you more food choices at lunch. So you could maybe have a burger or a hot dog or French fries or nachos or a salad. So it's whatever you decide to have for lunch that day, which is very different from elementary school. It's because you're getting older and you get to make more decisions, which is really cool. Something that is a lot different from elementary school is you have lockers in elementary school, but you use them differently in middle school. You have a locker in middle school, and they're always in the hallways, and you have a lock. And with that lock comes a combination, and you'll learn that combination. And the locker is where you're going to keep your backpack. It's where you're going to keep all your supplies for your different classes and anything that you need in there. Anything that you want to keep stored and locked away, you put it in the locker. So it's something that you're going to use a lot in middle school. And so, if you've never used a lock on a locker before, you have a 3-digit, 3 numbers combination. And they're not just going to give you the lock and say, here's your combination. Just like anywhere else, the teachers are going to help you. And they're going to give you, they're going to help you open your locker, and they're going to show you how. And when you get those 3 numbers, they're yours. They're not anyone else's. So you need to make sure you write it down somewhere secret that no one else knows it, but you'll be able to remember it. And the first few days might be hard to remember your locker combination, but you'll really get to know how to do it after a week or so. And I'm confident that you guys will be able to use your lockers, and it won't be hard anymore. So some tips for success. We as your teachers and your parents, we want you to be successful in middle school. And so I'm going to give you some tips of what you can do to be successful in middle school. One of the big things that I've talked to middle school teachers about is staying organized. It's really important to keep track of the work that you're doing, the assignments, because you're going to different classes. You're going to have to keep track of when things are due, when you're having a test, when there's an event that's important. You're going to be responsible for writing those things down and to making sure you remember those, because not everybody's going to help you do that, like you did in elementary school. So it's really important, because you're growing up and you're getting more responsibilities, to stay organized. You can use your locker to help you get organized and to keep your belongings in. It might be helpful to color code your folders, so you know that an orange folder might go to social studies if you're headed to social studies, or to grab your purple folder that might be going to math. So color code per subject just means having a notebook for each subject you're going to, and that might help you stay organized. It says to clean out your desk once a week. Not every middle school you'll have your own desk. Your locker is probably more important to keep organized. But if you do have a desk at your middle school, it'll probably be in your home room. You should keep that organized as well, just because you are going from class to class and it's important to take your things with you. And you'll learn this as you go, and the teachers will tell you what supplies you need and what type of folders you might need. It's important to ask for help and feel comfortable asking for help. If you have an older sibling that's already been through middle school, or a cousin or an aunt, ask if they have any advice for you. Get to know your teachers and your principal and your counselors just like you would in elementary school, because they're there to help you just like we were. That's what they're there for. That's their job. And make sure your parents always know what's going on with you, with how you're feeling, with your friends, with your tests, because they're there also to help you, and they want to help you through the changes that middle school might bring. When you figure out what you enjoy, it's really good to, like I said, to join sports teams or clubs or music, or drama, or which is also called theater. Joining these activities helps you make new friends, especially if you're going to a middle school where you don't know a lot of people. And also it helps you understand maybe what you like to do. If you join an art club, then you find out, wow, I really enjoy art. That's something that might lead you to doing other things. The same with music, like band. If you like, maybe you've never played an instrument before, but if you join the band, you'll learn how, and you might find that you really enjoy it. So just join things that bring you happiness and joy, because that's such an important, cool part of middle school. Okay, this is a big one, but you've probably heard the word peer pressure before. We all want to belong. We all want to feel like we're part of a group. Peer pressure happens when someone tries to make us do something we might not be comfortable with. And it can be hard to say no, because we want to make friends and we don't want to disappoint our friends. But it's really important to not fall into peer pressure and to say no if something makes you feel uncomfortable. Some ways to handle peer pressure are: get to know you. What do you value? What things do you look for in a friend? Do you look for kindness? Do you look for loyalty? I personally look for compassion, and I look for people that I know are going to support me no matter what. Say no and stand firm and strong when you don't want to do something, and don't change your mind. And if you really don't want to do something, make sure you walk away from them, and find a safe place or a grown-up. Always bring a friend with you to support you and helps you to stand up to tough situations. Find a friend that also values the things that you do, such as kindness or loyalty or compassion, and look for positive role models. Who do you look up to? What are some people that you think are heroes in your life? Okay, so we are going to watch a video